వారు వ్యక్తిత్వము, వారి యొక్క మంచితనము, అదే కాకుండా నేర్చుకోవడం అనేది నవీన్ గారి దగ్గర నేర్చుకోవాలి. వయసుతోనే సంబంధం లేదు, దేనితో సంబంధం లేదు. నేను సీఏనని కాకుండా కొత్త విషయాలు నేర్చుకుంటూనే ఉంటారు నవీన్ గారు. అటువంటి నవీన్ గారు మన ముందుకు రావడం చాలా ఆనందంగా ఉంది. సో ఐ హ్యాండ్ ఓవర్ ది ఫ్లోర్ టు నవీన్ సార్ ఫర్ ది వన్ థింగ్ వాట్ యూ నీడ్ టు లెర్న్. ఓకే, ప్లీజ్ గో హెడ్ సార్. ప్లీజ్ గో హెడ్ నవీన్ గారు.
Right. Okay. Welcome to all impact participants. First thing, I want to thank Gampa for his wonderful selfless service he's doing for everybody. నేను యాక్చువల్లీ ఇంపాక్ట్లో ఐ థింక్ 5-6 years బ్యాక్ ఒక సెషన్ తీసుకున్నాను ఎప్పుడో. సిన్స్ దెన్ ఐ బీన్ వాచింగ్ హౌ గంపా హ్యాస్ యాక్చువల్లీ గ్రోన్ ది ఇంపాక్ట్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్. నిన్నే అనుకుంటున్నాను యాక్చువల్లీ ఇంత డిప్రెషన్లో, కోవిడ్ టైంలో, లాక్డౌన్ టైంలో there are many non-Telugu participants. In this depression lockdown time, impact is like a oasis in a desert, because it is giving hope to people, it is giving direction to people, it is giving support to actually people all over the, especially Telugu states. So hats off to Gampa. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Normally word of thanks last chapter nenu munde cheptanu eppudu. I want to thank you. Then Ranadhir has been a wonderful person actually to help me to get this program ready. So let's start the one thing, my dear friends. So 3N Training presents the one thing. So when we say the one thing, what do you actually understand behind the one thing? Ee rojullo everybody is actually talking about multitasking. For example, somebody joins engineering, then he will say after engineering he will say I'll do computer science. Once he finishes computer science, then he will say I will do something else, robotics, artificial intelligence. Then somebody else will say do Java or do C++. Again he will do something else. Like that they keep on shifting from one thing to the other. Ultimately they're jack of all trades, master of none. And today, remember, we should always be jack of all trades, master of one. Now this program is a wonderful program I have created. This is based on a book called The One Thing. After the program is over, you can actually go to Amazon and buy the book as well. And this book I have read many years ago. Normally my programs I design on my own. I discover content, I structure it and deliver to the participants. But this one program, I like the book so much, I thought this will be very useful for participants. That is the reason we created a program out of the book and presenting to all the participants. Now, I hope all of you have a notepad ready, a pen ready, and the most important thing is have an open mind, fresh open mind. Right, let's move ahead. My first question to all of you is, what is your mindset? In my opinion, you can have 3 types of mindsets. Imagine 3 caps. The first cap, my dear friends, is a red cap. So when people wear a red cap, it means they are actually having a fixed mindset. Now, fixed mindset people have the 3 most dangerous words in any language. What are the 3 most dangerous words in any language? The most dangerous words in any language is nothing but I know everything or I don't need to learn anything at all. This is the 3 most dangerous words. So red cap people are the people who think I don't have to learn anything at all. And today, if you are wearing a red cap in this program or in your life or in your home or in your office, we will all never learn anything at all. So red cap people. The next category is white cap people. Now white cap people are those people who have come to this program thinking, okay, my father pushed me, my mother pushed me, or my parents have pushed me, or Gampa has pushed me, whatever it is. And they will refuse to take value from the program. These are white cap people. They are not bad, not good, but they don't take value from the program. And the third category, my dear friends, is green cap category people. Green cap category people are the best type of attitude. Now, these are the people who say, okay, there is something to learn from this program. Okay, there is something to learn from this idea, from this book, from this experience. So green cap people, in my opinion, are called, these people have a fixed mindset. These people have a neutral mindset. These people have a growth mindset. In life, every day when you get up in the morning, your spouse, maybe your husband or wife, maybe your children, maybe your parents will tell you something. If you're wearing a red cap, you will say, I know everything, I don't have to listen to you. But you just 1 minute, just 1 second, wear a green cap and see. Maybe there's some beautiful gold coming from your parents, or from your brother, or from your sister, or from your friend. And that may entirely turn your entire life. And all of us frequently go to red cap all the time. Now you must come back to green cap. If I ask you the important question, which cap are you wearing? And many of you will say green cap. The answer is no. The answer is actually all of us keep on rotating the caps. Sometimes we are in red cap, sometimes we are in white cap, sometimes we're in green cap. Now, after this program, at this moment of time, you can have what is called the important word called awareness. Now, if you have awareness, immediately from red cap, you can shift to green cap. If you have the word called awareness. And next time you think, I know everything, just tell yourself, Arey Baba, wear green cap, wear green cap. Come back to green cap again. Because the next sentence may be gold for you. Next word may be gold for you. Next experience may turn around your entire life. So the first lesson, my dear friends, in today's session is wear a green cap all the time. Not just today's lesson, but all the time. Just wear a green cap every single moment of our lives. And then see the magic happening. And as a trainer, as Ranveer actually told you, I'm a qualified chartered accountant. I'm a biology student actually. And I shifted to commerce. I joined commerce and then I became a chartered accountant. It took a long time to become a CA, but I became a CA. I'm a qualified CA. But initially when I started, I was in a red cap mentality. Then slowly I shifted to white, then shifted to what? Green. And you can see now I'm a qualified CA. Then I thought later, more than actually numbers, I should actually study humans. Therefore, I entered into training. And today my mission, my passion is to actually influence, impact millions and millions of people. I'll show you my mission at the end of this particular program. So my question to all of you is, I hope all of you are wearing a green cap all the time. During this program also, you will somehow things you will say, okay, I know this, you may be feeling that. Come back to green all the time. In the morning, office, home, everywhere, green cap, green cap, green cap, and see the magic in your life. So my dear friend, this is our first learning for today. I will now enter the important next thing, which is nothing but, I'm asking an important question. You can use the chat box because anyway we are disabled the audio. You can use the chat box. What is common among all these persons or organizations? What's common among all these persons or organizations? I want your participation. So the first picture I'm showing is this. If you see what is common among all these organizations, the first picture I'm showing you is this. And this picture, if you actually see, this picture is, some of you may have guessed it. This is nothing but Disneyland. And maybe some of you in the audience have visited Disneyland. I've never visited Disneyland. I want to visit it definitely one day in my life. After COVID is over, I want to travel to US. What is the one thing which Walt Disney created? Why Disney became so popular in the world? What is the one thing he actually created? Now, Disney's one thing basically is nothing but to actually give happiness to people. He actually said, we must provide happiness on the planet. So everything Disney does, whether it is cartoons, whether it is Disneyland, whether it is Disney World, everything, they always look at how shall we provide more happiness to people on the planet. That is their one thing, my dear friends. So the one thing of Disney is what? Happiness. Tell me this, what is the one thing of Google? Can you guess what is the one thing of Google? Yeah, and Disneyland, like some of you put in the chat box, is you can enjoy like children. You can be a child again. What is the one thing about Google? The one thing Google basically is nothing but this word. And what is that word, my dear friend? It is nothing but search. The whole focus about Google is we help you to search information, gather information, and we allow you to search information in an efficient way. That is their one thing. Now later they're actually doing other things as well, but initially they started with one thing, they stabilized the one thing and went to the other things. Third picture, let's come to individuals. Look at Amitabh Bachchan, my dear friends. What is his one thing? And he started acting and he lived acting. Later he went to politics, came back because he didn't do well in politics, came back to acting again. In between started a company, it flopped. Again he came back to act again. So he understood my one thing is acting. Let me focus on that. Even today is in demand. Advertisements, KBC, movies, even still is in demand. Because he actually focused on his one thing. Look at the next picture, my dear friends. Who's the next picture coming up? Ramdev Baba. Now, Ramdev Baba, I don't know if you know, actually suffered from, I think, paralysis. Then he thought, let me have a natural cure. So he focused on learning yoga. He learned yoga. And he thought his one thing is, let me give yoga to the people of the country. So he started doing free yoga programs. His one thing for many years was giving the gift of yoga to the people. Today afternoon, I was telling to my wife also, you know, in this COVID time, people are coming back to the Indian culture because people now understand the value of namaste more than shake hand. People now understand the value of yoga more than treadmill in a gym. People understand the value of pranayama more than jumping around somewhere else. And one of the credit we must give is to Ramdev Baba is to give all Indians the simple, beautiful gift of yoga, which we started in the planet on the world. And then now is one thing, after he stabilized yoga, his next one thing is Patanjali products, natural Ayurvedic products. Now you know or don't know, his laboratory they have actually done research on 60,000 old plants, 60,000 plus, which are there in Himalayas. Nobody has done that much of research. So every Patanjali product, they have ensured that it gives natural cure or medicines to actually people all over the country. So when he started, his one thing was yoga. Now, even now, of course, he continues yoga. Now his next one thing is to give health products to the people of the country, right? Now, what about the next picture I'm going to show to you? What about the next picture, my dear friends? Ratan Tata. Now, you know, his one thing is very simple business. From the day he was born, after he finished education, when he was made the chairman of Tata Sons, his business, his one thing is purely business and business and business. Now, when he does business, he doesn't do one business. He does Tata Steel, he does Tata Motors, he does Tata Consulting Services, he does Chroma and so many other things. But you may think, sir, you said one thing, but he's doing multiple things. No, what these people do is they stabilize on one thing, then they go to the other thing. They stabilize that thing, go to the third thing. So they do one good thing at the right time with a proper system. That's why they do well in everything. They actually shine in everything. Now, what about Apple? What do you think is the one thing of Apple? Can you type in the chat box? What is the one thing about Apple? Here, the one thing of Apple is nothing but user experience. So we call it UX. You know what is UX is what? User experience. So there one thing, Apple basically, every product of Apple talks about user experience. You buy an iPhone, you buy an iPad, you buy a Macintosh, you're actually focusing on one major thing. When Steve Jobs was there alive, he told his team of people, we must give a great user experience. Their focus purely was on one thing, to give a grand and great user experience. So every product they make, they focus on user experience. You know, the next picture, very simple. Sachin Tendulkar, one thing, 25, 30 years of his career, one thing, cricket, one thing, World Cup for the country, one thing, India should be world number one. Now, after retirement, he may do the next one thing of business, etc. But his predominant one thing he started is what? Cricket, sports. And I don't know if you know this lady. This lady is called Kiran Madhudar Shah, Biocon Industries. Now, she is the first lady to start a biotechnology company. And it's a $1 billion company now. And she is the one who's actually started creating medicines for diabetes, for cancer, etc. She's the only lady who has started it. Dr. Reddy Laboratories is there in Hyderabad. Then Metas, other companies are in Hyderabad. But she's the first one who, as the lady, she started this industry, Biocon. Her focus purely is, let me give medicines at reasonable cost to the people of India. That is her one thing. So every focus she does is purely based on that. Now, regarding COVID, regarding vaccine for COVID, they're working on that as well. Biocon is working on that as well. She said, this is my one thing in my life. Right? So this is the one thing of people around us, my dear. These are a few examples of one thing. Now, as we told you in the brochure, in the poster, we already told, this is not a motivation program. This is basically a realization program. It's a transformational program. So stay till the end, because every next slide will have more and more value. It's a process we're going to take you through. So whole process we're taking you through. If you chase two rabbits, now some people will be there, they will say, I'm doing business plus I'm doing job, or I'm doing two jobs at a time, I'm doing multiple businesses at a time. Now, if you chase two rabbits, there's a Chinese proverb. Of course, now we are enemies with China, but the Chinese proverb is very good. And it simply says, if you chase two rabbits, you will not catch either one. You will not catch either one of the rabbits. So whatever you're doing, focus on that. More about that in the future slides. But this book essence is basically, if you chase two rabbits, you will never conquer any one of them. You will be jack of all trades, master of none. So this quotation has to be changed to what? Jack of all trades. It should be changed to what? Jack of all trades, master of what? One. Now, if you want to do in life today, this is the mantra, my dear friends. Jack of all trades, master of what? One. If you can master this equation, somebody should know you about something. For example, for me now, people know me as an inspirational trainer for people to change their lives. That is the one thing I want to be known about. If you look at Dr. Gopichan Star Hospital, this is known for one thing, which is nothing but heart surgery. Like that, if you look P. Gopichan, he's known for one thing called produce badminton champions for the country. Like that, if you look at Narendra Modi, he's known for one thing called politics, let's save this nation. Unfortunately, if you see, you may or may not agree, unfortunately, if you see, the problem with Rahul Gandhi is he doesn't know what is his one thing. And unfortunately, we don't have an opposition in this country. Now, whether you're a fan of Rahul Gandhi or Narendra Modi, forget about all this. Let's see what we can learn from that. The reason is because if you don't have a one thing, we will get scattered. We will not do anything properly in our life. That's why we must have a one thing approach in our life. Take the one thing approach. And those of you who want to go deeper into the subject, you can actually buy the book called The One Thing. And you can visit the website called theonething.com. This is the authors who have designed this particular book and written this particular book. These people are actually the promoters and the chairman of USA's largest real estate company, and his name is Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. These are the people who have written this book out of their experience. And if you want to go deeper into this, you can go to the YouTube. You'll find a lot of reviews about one thing, as well as there's an audio about one thing. You can go deeper into it. But I'm giving you a beautiful essence connecting to our Indian environment. I'm telling you so that you can easily understand all these ideas. For this, we have to know what is known as the domino effect. Now, what's a domino? A domino is nothing but a small 2-inch piece. 2-inch, you can say a plastic piece. 2-inch plastic piece is called a domino here. That's a domino. And the beauty about a domino is it is just 2 inches. The first 2-inch domino can topple 50% bigger domino. That means 3 inches. And that can topple a domino which is 4.5 inches. And like that, 50% more, 50% more, 50% more, you can topple. And you know, there are world championships for dominoes actually. How many dominoes you can topple? Now, how is that connected to this particular thing called one thing, you may wonder. When you say all these things, you can topple many things. Let's understand the magic of dominoes first of all, then I will be able to connect everything for you. I hope you can see this. Dominoes create a geometric progression, and that's beautiful and amazing. Not arithmetic progression, geometric progression. Let's see now. And this beautiful graph, you can understand, this is called the height. So I'll put H for height. And this is called the domino number. So I'll put domino number. Okay, domino number. And as you can see, the first domino, my dear friends, is just 2 inches tall. How much is just 2 inches tall? This is the first domino, just 2 inches tall. And by the time now 2 inches tall domino, as you know, it can topple 3.5 inches, 3 inches. Uske baad 4.5 inches. After that, 6 inches and so on. Can you believe it? Can you believe this? It is unbelievable. By the time you go to the 18th domino, the domino of a height of Leaning Tower of Pisa you can topple. By the time you go to 23rd domino, a domino which is bigger than the Eiffel Tower in Paris, that you can topple. You know that Samajavara Gamana song is there in Ala Vaikuntapuram. They shot near Eiffel Tower, as you know. By the time you reach the 31st domino is, can you believe it? It is higher than the Mount Everest, 3,000 feet above the Mount Everest. This is the Mount Everest for you. And can you believe this one? It is really unbelievable. 57th domino is the distance between the Earth and the Moon. Distance between the Earth and the Moon is 57th domino. So this is called the geometric progression. Now, how is it related to us? How is it related to our subject today? How is it related to the one thing today? I'll explain to you now. Any work you take, any small or big work you're going to take, any project you're going to take, the important thing is, the worrying thing actually is people struggle to take the first step and they get stopped in the next step and the next step and the next step and the next step. Let's take an example of a student who wants to learn English, has come from Telugu medium, wants to learn English, a particular student. She is hesitating because he may speak bad English and people may laugh at him. So you can start with a small first domino. Small first domino is what? He can say, let me learn 5 English words per day. So he takes out a notebook, 5 English words per day with their meaning. And the next small domino. Okay, let me write 5 sentences a day. Next small domino, let me write 10 sentences a day. Next domino, then he can go up and then say, okay, with my family at least I'll speak English. I will tell them, even if I make mistakes, encourage me, don't laugh at me. Then he will take the next step of speaking with outsiders. Then he will take the next step of actually talking and speaking in front of unknown audiences. Now, like that, he continues and continues and continues and continues. And finally, you'll find him after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, he may be speaking amazing English, maybe better than a foreigner. And you'll be wondering, this person, did he study in a convent school in Hyderabad or an urban area? No, he studied probably in a village. But he focused on his one thing, which is he wanted to learn English. And he started with a small domino and picked up. He started speaking amazing English. You know, I love this. I love movies. So one of the movie I like a lot is this Telugu movie called Raja the Great. You know, Ravi Teja is the hero. Those who know Telugu will understand. And those who don't know Telugu also, let me tell you, the hero is blind in the movie. And the mother doesn't bring him up with sympathy. Mother brings him up with a lot of strength. You know, his favorite dialogue in the movie is, I'm blind, but I'm trained, he says. I'm blind, but I'm trained. I love that quotation. And I believe with training, we can achieve most of the things in our life. So excellent, all of you participants who are in the training, because instead of doing something else, you are actually learning something for your life. That's an excellent thing you're actually doing. So we haven't understood the domino effect. Now, the next thing is, how do we start the one thing? How do we reach our goals? How do we reach our ambitions? Some of you may have an ambition of a business. Some of you may have an ambition of coming first in the school or college. Some of you have ambition of joining the top company in your segment. Some of you may have a simple ambition of, I must be slim and trim. Some of you may have the ambition of, I want to buy my dream house. Some of you may have an ambition of, I want to impact 1,000 people, 10,000 people, or 1 million people. So where do you start, my dear friends? You start with the one thing. You start with one small thing. And then build up. And suddenly you'll find after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever time, you will suddenly reach the moon. It's just a pictorial representation. What it actually means is, if you start with that small domino, you can impact, you can achieve your goals well. That's what he actually means in the book. Right. So how's it going, my dear friends? Are you on track? Am I going fast? Am I going slow? Is it okay? Speed? Can you type in the chat box so I can just modify it for this one? Are you able to understand what I'm saying? Wonderful. Right. Let's continue. Now, when you are about to actually start the journey of your one thing, then something will stop us. Now, what is that something which is stopping us, my dear friend? What is the one thing which is something which is stopping us? Now, something which is stopping us is basically, no, sorry, Telugu. My mother tongue is Telugu. I don't mind speaking Telugu, but there are many non-Telugu people in the actually listening from all over India.
Naveen, only English.
Yeah, it will be only English. Please don't mind. And there are participants from Singapore who are listening, from Australia they're listening, from USA they're listening actually. So please don't mind. Yeah. So what derails us? What derails us? What stops us in our life, my dear friend? There are 6 enemies, 6 lies about success we have to know. How many, sir? 6 lies about success. So let's talk about the 6 lies about success. I'll give you some practical examples for each one. Listen well. I hope you're wearing a green cap. First important lie about success. Everything matters equally is a big lie. Everything does not matter equally in our life. For example, your entertainment does not matter as much as your growth in your life. Are you going to be on PUBG or on YouTube, or are you going to learn a subject? Are you going to be on television, or are you going to do some exercise? Are you going to spend some time with your family and have better relationships, or gossip about somebody, some politician, some film actor and all that stuff? No, everything does not matter equally. So you must decide what matters to me in my life. What matters to me in my life? Focus on that. Because if you focus on the 20% which really matters in your life, and that will magically change your life totally. I know many people who don't do too many things. They just do a few things, but they are the most important things in their life for them. So for me now, it is coaching, training, speaking is my most important thing. You know what? When the lockdown started, I love movies, by the way, and we have Netflix in my house. We have Amazon Prime in my house. I told my wife, every day let's see one movie. And then we run a coaching center for community students, Igvija Coaching Center. And the students started asking, sir, can you start classes? So we started the classes. So we became so busy. Last 2 months, 2.5 months, can you believe that I have not seen a single movie, even though it is just available on my remote. I can simply see it, but I have not seen a single movie. Because for me, it doesn't matter as much as impacting people in my life. I also see, but I've not seen for the last 2.5 months, because it does not matter so much to me than impacting people in my life. Next lie about success, my dear friends, is multitasking gets more things done. It's a big lie. This word multitasking has actually come from the computer age. Even the computer you may think is multitasking. It is not. It is always doing one thing at a time, but it does it so quickly, so fast it does. We are actually thinking it is doing multitasking. No, it's actually doing one thing at a time. So doing multitasking gets more done. Worldwide research shows quality will be down by about 30% when you do multitasking. So when you're doing important projects, suppose you're studying for an exam if you're a student, or maybe you're actually doing an important project in your company. Now focus on that. At that time, don't switch on YouTube or WhatsApp or your mails or your video games, etc. Focus on that. If you focus 1 hour on that, and then next 10 minutes, okay, I will play some video game for 10 minutes. So what happens now? You'll do that work well, you will minimize mistakes, high quality will be delivered, and your boss, your company will say, wow, when I give the work to this particular person, he does a great job. So you will get the brand image called, this guy is quality conscious. If I give work to this particular person, he will do it very well. Right? Now, if you look at Amitabh Bachchan or Sachin Tendulkar, whatever it is, they actually focus on that one thing. All the great surgeons, heart surgeons, knee surgeons, kidney surgeons, everybody for that matter, they actually now, my daughter-in-law's friend, she's a badminton champion in P. Gopichand's academy. Now, Gopichand is very strict. The moment you enter the academy, you have to put off your mobile phones. And you have to focus purely on training. Because his vision is, we want to produce an Olympic champion, want to produce a world champion. Now, if you are seeing your mobile phone and then practicing badminton, how will you produce a world champion? You can be an okay player, but you will not be a great player. So my dear participants, if you, I, or anybody wants to be great in our life, don't do multitasking. Instead, you must do what is known as serial tasking. you must do what is known as serial tasking. Serial tasking means do one right thing and do the next right thing after that. So when you're studying, study. When you're playing, play. When you're watching movie, watch movie. Don't have a book and then watch the movie. That is called serial tasking. And you know what Ratan Tata does? You may think he's not focusing on one thing. He's focused on one thing, of course. His schedule will be 10 o'clock Tata Motors meeting, 12 o'clock Tata consultancy meeting. 2 o'clock, I'm going to have a talk with investors from Indonesia. Then 4 o'clock, I'm going to discuss how do we actually prepare a COVID plan. You know what he does? Basically, what he will always do is 10 to 12, he'll focus only on that. 12 to 2, he'll focus only on that. 2 to 4, he'll focus only on that. 4 to 6, he'll focus only on that. So what will now happen is, this is quality, this is quality, this is quality, this is quality. Everything is quality he creates. So in a Tata Motors meeting, he doesn't talk about Tata Steel, or he doesn't be on the phone. What is he doing? He's doing serial tasking, not multitasking. Any great person on the planet, they will do serial tasking, including anybody you see, they do serial tasking. They know that if I pay attention, I'll produce better output. My quality is going to improve. So this is a lesson for you, my dear friends. Multitasking is a lie. Go for serial tasking. Next lie about success. We must live a disciplined life. Now this is slightly, people may not understand immediately what does actually mean. When we're talking about we must live a disciplined life, people think to be successful, you must be disciplined. The real truth is you must be disciplined only to start. Uske baad habit will take over. So start with discipline and continue with the habit till you get results. So you need discipline only to start basically. Suppose you take a decision. Okay, from tomorrow morning 6 a.m. I want to go to the gym, or 6 a.m. I want to go for walking. And you're postponing from January to March to this one to that one. Don't worry about discipline. Just say that 1 minute I will just get up from my bed, I will brush my teeth, I will wear my shoes. Afterwards, in 10 minutes time, you'll be nicely walking. In 1 hour time, you would have finished your walk or your exercise. So remember, my dear friends, discipline is like the spark plug of a car. You may have Mercedes-Benz car, but if it doesn't have a spark plug, it won't even start. So don't worry about too much of discipline. Just worry about little bit discipline to start off that one good thing for you and start it. And then let habit take over from there. Habit will take over from there. The next slightly controversial thing people have is, how many days do we need to get a habit ingrained in us? How many days do we need a habit inbuilt in us? Now, many people have done research. They'll say 21 days, 36 days, and so on. But this book says 66 days is the number. This 66 days, if you continue, you will make it a guaranteed habit. That's what it actually says. Okay. Now, remember, but the truth is, till how long should I continue, sir? The habit, very simple. You continue till it really becomes a habit. That is the actual answer. But for some people, in 10 days, it may become a habit. Some people may take 100 days to become a habit. But the key to that is start with discipline, continue with the habit till you get your results. I hope you got the point, my dear friends. Yes. The fourth thing, willpower is available on call, which is another big lie. Now, any human being does not have willpower throughout the day. Remember, we may have more willpower in the morning. By the time evening comes, night comes, we lose our willpower. It's exactly like a battery in our mobile phone. Whether use it or don't use it, battery will get discharged slowly. So we put it for recharging. So all successful people have understood that when the willpower is highest, they go and do the right things. They don't go for enjoyment. They actually do what is their one thing. Then when willpower is lowest, they may do other things for entertainment, etc. But when willpower is highest, they don't waste that willpower. So when you have a lot of willpower, okay, I must study, or I must do this business, or I must study about a business, I must study about how to overcome these COVID issues and all that. So when willpower is highest, hit it. Put your effort on that. Rather than evenings or when you're tired, when you don't have energy, when you don't have willpower, if you start that type, then you'll miss out. All successful people understood this mantra or secret. Willpower is there. Do your main thing at that time when willpower is there, so that you'll get your best results. Next lie about success: we should live a balanced life, which is another lie. Now, everybody talks about work-life balance nowadays. But you know Bill Gates, you know Mark Zuckerberg, you know Steve Jobs. When Bill Gates started his Microsoft company, and I read his biography and his life story, they used to literally work for literally 18-20 hours a day in a small car garage. And so that they will actually get things done on time. So at that point of time, little bit health will get affected, little bit family life will get affected, little bit other things will get affected. But he knows that is one window of opportunity I've got. His first project he got is for a school. He and his friend, they had a software project to actually analyze the students' results. And they gave it before the deadline. And they worked literally non-stop throughout the day, throughout the night literally. They didn't have a balanced life that time. And now he created the balance in his life. So sometimes when the opportunity is there, we may have to stretch ourselves. So be stretchable, my dear friends. So when you understand stretchability, when the opportunity comes, stretch yourself. So when you start stretching yourself, you'll grab that opportunity. And after some time, you may come back to some balance. So some imbalance like that will be there. Then after that, balance will start. So don't worry too much about always having a balanced life, but ensure that it doesn't go beyond control. So don't neglect your health. Don't have irregular eating habits. Don't neglect your family and your relationships. Keep them on the call so that they will know you're on track. Next, biggest bad in our institute. You know, the first day I asked this question to our students. Okay, students, how many of you want to score only your first rank in commissary course or chartered accountant course? No, if 100 students are there in the classroom, you know how many students raise their hand? 1 or 2 students. And I will ask them, Arey, why don't you raise your hand? And they will say, no, sir, what do you mean? In degree itself, I got 50th in my class. How can I get all India rank in a professional exam in the country? So who actually shattered their dreams is themselves. Of course, teacher may have told you you're not good, but you agreed that you're not good. No, you admitted you're not good. So ultimately, who's creating your own destiny is you only. I love this quotation of Vivekananda. You're the creator of your own destiny. I love it. And that's how I become a chartered accountant. That's how I'm actually an international trainer now. We have done programs in Singapore. We have done programs in Australia. If COVID was not there, I would have been in US by now, doing programs there. But doesn't matter. New opportunity again. So don't worry about big is bad, my dear friends. Big is not bad. You know, Dhirubhai Ambani, when the petrol bunk boy, he dreamt one day I must own a petroleum company. And I love Dhirubhai Ambani's quotation. He says, ideas are nobody's monopoly. Yes, dreams are nobody's monopoly. Coming first is nobody's monopoly. Becoming big is nobody's monopoly. Becoming healthy is nobody's monopoly. Generating ideas is nobody's monopoly. At least you can start generating some ideas to become big. And how to do that, we'll give you some system in this session. It's a little bit. We cannot give everything, but a little bit we can give in the system itself. Don't worry. So the 6 enemies, 6 lies about success. Just a quick recap. What stops us from the one thing is these 6 lies about success. What are the first lies, sir? Everything matters equally. No, everything does not matter equally. So choose what is important, vital for you, my dear friends. Choose that and then focus on that first of all. Don't waste energy on unnecessary things. Multitasking gets more done. Go for serial tasking, not multitasking. Third thing, disciplined life. Start with discipline, continue with the habit to get results. Willpower is always available on call. No, all of us don't have willpower throughout the day or throughout the week or throughout the month. When you have willpower, attack your biggest work. Your most important work you do when you have willpower. So this is what is there. have a balanced life. Sometimes for projects, we may have an imbalanced life. Doesn't matter, temporarily. Then you come back to balance after some time. And big is bad. Don't worry, all of us can dream big. Why not? DHR full form is discipline, habits, results. Yeah, like this, if you have any doubt, you can keep asking. I don't mind. Discipline, habits, results. Discipline needed to just start, my dear friends. Habits are needed to continue. And with that, you get the results called the outcome. So you don't have to have discipline throughout. Just have discipline to start off. Create a habit of continuing that particular thing and you get results. So discipline, habits gives you results. Right, sir. Now we've understood what stops us from going for our one thing. Yeah. So we will answer those questions. Don't worry. Yeah. If you want that picture.
Yes, Naveen. Naveen.
Yeah, 1 minute. Somebody wanted this picture. If you want, you can. Yeah. So I'm going to continue now. Okay, sir, let's find out the one thing. Now, how do you find out our one thing? Is by asking. Now, all of us have this doubt. No, so what is my one thing, sir? How do I find out? Ask this very, very, very important question. This is called the focusing question. This is called a great question. And that great question, my dear friends, is called the focusing question. And what is the focusing question? Understand every word of this, my dear friends. What is the one thing? So I'll put a laser pointer. What is the one thing you can do such that by doing it, everything else will become easier or unnecessary? So we must by heart this question because it will change our entire life. It's a simple question, but wonderful question. And everybody can understand if they actually focus on that. It says, what does it say, my dear friends? It says, what is the one thing? What is the one thing that you can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? Becomes easier what? Unnecessary. So to make you understand that, I prepared an example chart for you to understand that. So let me take you through that in the next slide. Some nice examples. Okay. So how do you apply the focusing question in our life? How do you apply focusing question in our life? If you do on the left side, I want you to focus, please. On the left side, one thing. If you do that, some things become unnecessary later. A quick thing for you. Suppose you do one thing called exercise regularly now. What becomes unnecessary later is hospital. Suppose you focus on nutrition now. What becomes unnecessary is medicines. Suppose you focus on studying as a student now. What becomes unnecessary is unemployment. You don't have to worry about unemployment because you're doing your knowledge acquisition very nicely, right? Yes or no? So let's see these examples, my dear friends. Suppose you focus on some practical examples I've created for you. These are not in the book. I've created myself just to make you understand. Suppose you focus on, okay, about wellness. Your consciousness is now, I must have wellness in my life. What becomes unnecessary in the future is illness. Suppose you focus on exercise. What becomes unnecessary is hospital in the future. If you do regular exercise, your body needs exercise. All of us body needs exercise. Then hospital becomes unnecessary in the future, right? Your insurance will come down. Your hospital will get nil or minimized. Who wants to go to hospital? There are three places we should not ever go to. One is hospital, one is court, one is police station. These are three places. If in our lifetime, if we don't go to these three places, good, achai. if you focus on nutrition now, then you can avoid medicines in the future, right? Right? If you're a student, my dear friends, if you focus on studies now, you can don't worry about unemployment in the future, because every company wants educated people who are actually diligent. That means they must have skills, they must have knowledge, they must have attitude. If you focus on savings now instead of spending everything now in this COVID time, many people have lost jobs. In one company, they told me out of 450 employees, 150 have been retrenched. So if somebody did not save money for the future, especially things like this COVID time and all these, nobody expected, then you don't have to worry about borrowing. You can avoid borrowing if you have savings. If you focus on skilling yourself, upskilling yourself, reskilling yourself, then what will be unnecessary is retrenchment in the future. I asked that out of 450 people, 150 were removed in Hyderabad in one company. I asked who were removed. The answer they gave is there are two types of employees they have categorized. First type of employees, nothing but indispensable or dispensable. So indispensable people are those people, my dear friends, who have what? Three things they have: skills, attitude, skills, and knowledge. Correct attitude they have excellent skills, they have developed good knowledge. And who got removed from the job? Those who were having wrong attitudes, those who didn't have enough skills, those who didn't have enough knowledge, they were removed from the companies. Of course, every company wants people with good attitude, good skills, and good knowledge. Don't you agree? So instead of wasting time on PUBG or on YouTube or on whatever it is, Facebook, etc., focus on skilling yourself, learning something, and see the magic in our lives. Next, if you focus on learning, tomorrow you don't have to worry about regression. Regression is the opposite of progression. Learning gives you earning. As they say, learning gives you earning. If you don't learn, none of us, like Gampa was saying, in this COVID time, you believe it or not, literally every day almost, I'm attending one webinar as a participant. Okay, I'm doing my own webinars, plus our own online classes for company secretary course. In addition to that, literally I'm attending 1 or 2 webinars a day to learn, because there is so much to learn on the planet. So instead of watching TV or unnecessary gossip, I'm focusing on learning so I can have progress. If you focus on the one thing called friendship today, real genuine friendship, today's world, you know why unfortunately Sushant Rajput expired. Had he had good friends and good trainers and good mentors and good coach, he would have lived. Such a wonderful talent we have lost. We look at MS Dhoni, how he practiced 1 year to actually have a film called MS Dhoni. We missed him. I was really feeling so bad. I wish I could coach him and he would have lived a wonderful life. If you focus on one thing called friendship today, you don't have to worry about loneliness tomorrow. He became lonely, my dear friends. For 6 months, he was in depression. Actually, more than that, he did not take medicines. But so much of talent, so much of handsomeness, and so much of ability he had. We have lost a huge talent. Now, Sushant Rajput is known. There are so many people losing every day. We don't even know. If you focus on being organized in life, then you don't have to worry about searching. Where did I put my car keys? Where did I put my bike keys? Where did I put my book? Where did I put my clothes and my spectacles and my files and my all that stuff? These are a few examples I have chosen to make you understand what is the one thing you can focus now, so that what becomes unnecessary in the future. So how many of you like this one? How many of you like this one? These examples, how many of you liked? Can you type in the chat box? Now, if you focus on team, building a team rather than doing things alone, if you focus on a team, then what will become unnecessary in the future is stagnation. As Ratan Tata, I think, has said, I think Ratan Tata is the person who has said, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together, because you can grow together. So people have understood, big companies, big CEOs, everybody have understood, let's create a wonderful team. So if you create a team now, invest time to understand people, their needs, their desires, their actually dreams and invest time for them, then you can avoid stagnation. Even in this COVID time, they will find out a way and find out solutions for your company to grow, for your organization to grow. Is it not? So think about this. There are a few examples I create. You can create your own examples again and again. Why not? Right? Okay, sir. Let's go to the next one. And what is the focusing question? I'll just go back again, just to repeat. It's a wonderful question, great question, right? What is the focusing question? What is the one thing you can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary, right? If you learn English today, getting a job tomorrow becomes easier. If you learn how to drive a car today, driver becomes unnecessary in the future. If you learn to speak and if you do training today, then you don't have to depend on others. There's so many things which come unnecessary in the future. Now, this focusing question, these are the examples I've given to you. Understand? This is a double duty question. We call it a double duty question, my dear friends. When you say double duty question, what do we mean by that? This has two purposes. This question has two purposes. This helps you in two purposes. One is called, it will help you to get your big picture. What is my one thing? And this we call it as your vision. What is your vision 5 years from now? What is your vision 10 years from now? And I put up my own mission or vision for my life. I want to impact millions and millions and millions of people in my lifetime. You know what is my vision? You may laugh at it, but this is my vision. I want to take a training session in the Parliament of India for our MPs, for our ministers and prime ministers and everybody. I want to take a training program in White House, so that our politicians, our MPs discuss, because if you have proper focus, there are so many problems in our country. If all the 550 MPs work together, every problem can be solved in our nation, because the leaders are good, the economy will work well, the people will be better off. Imagine if you train all the MPs, if you train all the politicians, what impact it will have on our country. Wow, wonderful. So instead of worrying about ego issues, they should focus on our country. So what is your one thing 5 years, 10 years down the line? And then you ask the next question. Small focus. What is my one thing right now? What is my one thing right now? Now, for my mission of Parliament, what is my one thing right now? One thing right now is to understand human emotions. Why do politicians behave the way they behave? So I'm learning emotion intelligence. I've taken certification of emotion intelligence now. I'm going deeper into that. Them understanding policies of the country. And the other day, Venu Bhagwan, my friend, he organized a talk with J.D. Lakshmanarayan, sir. The whole session I attended. 45-50 minutes to talk about policy making. My whole approach or idea about politics changed after listening to him. My own uncle, my father's elder brother, was an MLA 2 times. Unfortunately, he died last month. And I watched him very closely. That same question I asked to Dr. J.D. Lakshmanarayan. So what is my focus just now? My focus just now is to develop myself in such a way that I will be able to hit my Mount Everest later. I don't know whether it's going to happen in my lifetime, but what is the harm in dreaming? What is the harm in thinking about it? Why not? As Dhirubhai Mani says, why not? Ideas are nobody's monopoly, right? Ideas are nobody's monopoly. So this is a double-digit question, my dear friends. What is your big picture? So I will write here, this is your vision. And you know what this is? This is your action right now. If you want a healthy, slim and trim body, and that's your vision, what's your action right now? Instead of sitting in front of television, go for a walk. Start with that. Instead of eating carbohydrates, reduce it by 10%, 20%. Start with that. Have a proper diet plan. Start with that. Big vision, small action. Mega results in our life, my dear friends. Now, my dear friends, we have to create one thing in what? We have to create one thing in what, my dear friends? We have to create one thing in those areas in our life which matter most to us. Which matter most to us. Now, for different people, different things matter in their life. So let's see some ideas. So this is a beautiful chart for you to understand, my dear friends, my dear participants. And what does it say? What is the one thing? What is the one thing I can do such a way that by doing it, everything else is going to become easier and unnecessary? So you start with small, simple questions. What is the one thing for your spiritual life that you can do from now? Maybe every day morning you can listen to Bhagavad Gita or some other spiritual work. Or on YouTube, you can listen to one beautiful talk about spirituality. Maybe that is the one thing you can start with. What is the one thing you can look at regarding your physical health, my dear friends? Okay, I may not have a gym nearby, or gyms are not allowed nowadays because of lockdown, etc. Can I take a walk for 10 minutes, sir? 20 minutes, sir? 1 hour? After that, that's the one thing I can do. Or can I reduce my sugar intake by 25% from now? Or can I reduce my food intake by 10% from now? Or can I make one meal as uncooked food? And normally we are eating 3 cooked meals. Maybe one meal uncooked, like fresh vegetables or fruits or salads. Ask yourself, what is the one thing I can do for my physical health? Maybe buying a cycle, maybe the one thing you can start with to actually do cycling. What is the one thing you can do for your personal life, my dear friends? Maybe the one thing you can do is spend some time on introspection. Every day, 15-20 minutes, I'll spend some time on planning my life. I will close my phone. I will close my room. I will not allow anybody to enter. I will just say, this is my time. This is my time. And that is your one thing for your personal life, maybe. What is the one thing, my dear friends, for your relationships? For your relation, what is the one thing for your relationships? Maybe you can decide every day, half an hour to 1 hour, I will have an open heart-to-heart conversation with the people in my life, with my spouse, with my children, with my parents, and so on. I will see what they need. I will address their needs. I will give them joy. Maybe that is the one thing you can do for your relationships. What is the one thing you can do for your job? Maybe. COVID time, everybody wants to upskill yourself. What is the new thing I should learn for my job so that I'll be in demand from now? That is the one thing maybe for your job today. What is the one thing you can do for your business? Maybe your product is good. Maybe it is a wonderful service or product. Maybe the one thing missing for your business is marketing. So you catch that one thing, focus on marketing from now. See the magic. What about your finances? Maybe the one thing for your finances is normal equation for people is income minus expenditure is equal to saving. This is the normal equation for most people on the planet. Income minus expenditure equals savings. Just change this equation because I'm a chartered accountant. I can tell you is nothing but income minus savings is equal to expenditure. That will be one thing you can start immediately. You take a decision. Whatever my income is, 30% of that I will take out as savings. I will remain. I will actually survive with the balance 70% or 60%, whatever it is. And then take this investment and start doing some, take this saving and start doing some investment. Finish. I remember, I think last year or something, when a few years when Sachin Tendulkar retired, there was a WhatsApp message, I remember. I loved the message really. And the message said, do you remember when Sachin Tendulkar made his first debut? That means first cricket match for India. Yes, I remember. Now, did you see his last test match? Yes. So that is 25 years of journey. And you know what the WhatsApp message says? Okay, boss, had you done an investment 25 years ago when Sachin made his first test match debut, he played his first test match, had you made some investment of 10,000 rupees or something in maybe MRF company or something, you could have retired when Sachin retired. Wow. Such a simple, wonderful idea, right? You could have retired when Sachin retired. Can you understand that? So change your equation from what? Income minus expenditure is savings. You can change it to what? Income minus savings is good expenditure. And then take that and make it as investments. Make it as investments, right? So think about your one thing in all those areas. And then once you ask this question, my dear friends, after asking this particular question, the next thing we need to do is what? The next thing we can do is Find out a great answer. Now, how do you find out a great answer, my dear friends? How do you find out a great answer? Now, if you ask a great question, you can find a great answer. Now, what is the great question and what is the great answer? Let us see now. A question which you're asking, a question which all of us are asking, has to have two components. What are two components? It must be big, it must be specific. I'll explain that in the next slide in detail. That will help you to find out the right answer. This is the first point. This is the second point. It will help you to find out the right answer. And what can you find out? You can find out a great answer by doing research and role model. Research and role model simply means what solutions have others created till now for your problem, That's called research and role model. For example, 56 years ago, whoever thought of open heart surgery? In medical terminology, whoever thought about knee replacement 50, 70 years ago? Today, people are doing it because some doctor thought there's a solution somewhere and he created a solution for everybody. How did he do that? He researched and actually created some idea from there. That's called research and role model. So let's go deeper into this, my dear friends. In this particular thing, we're asking you this question. We told you, think big and specific. Now let's give an example of think big and specific. Let us say you are in a company and you're the CEO of that company. You want to increase your sales. There are 4 possibilities. What are the 4 possibilities here? Suppose you say, I want to increase my sales. Now, this is very general and very broad. Suppose you say, I want to increase my sales by 1%. It is specific, but very, very small. It doesn't give you a challenge in life. Suppose student says, next exam, I will get 1 mark more. Yeah, there's some improvement, but very, very small. It doesn't challenge you as a human being. But suppose he says, I want to get better marks. Now, what is missing here is, it is not specific. It is very general. People say, no, I want to lose weight. Very general. But if you say, I want to lose 10 kgs in 5 months. Now, that is clear. That is big. That is what specific. Let's understand this here. So here this is called broad, my dear friend. This is called big, my dear friends. This is called small. And this is called specific. Broad, big, small, specific. Okay, I'll put a different color. This is big. This is small. This is broad. And this is specific. So let's focus one by one. Okay. Let's talk about this. What to do to double my sales? What is it? It is broad. It is big. It is not specific. But if I say, what can I do to increase my sales? What is it? It is broad, but it is very small. Here, what can I do to increase my sales by 5% every year? It is specific, no doubt, but it is very small. But the best thing to will be, what can I do to double my sales in 6 months? So that word double means it is specific. 6 months means specific. It is also big. My dear friends, it is also what? Specific. So if you focus on this particular quadrant, if you all focus on this quadrant, which is nothing but big plus specific, all of us will find amazing results. So don't say I want more customers. You say I want 100 more customers. When, sir? Is it next decade? You say I want 100 more customers in 6 months. Now that is specific, that is big. But if you say I want to add 1 customer per month, I know it is specific, but very, very small. It doesn't challenge you as a human being. Yes or no? Correct? So that's how you can actually go for what, sir? Think big and what? Specific. And then once you think big and specific, Now you can unlock your possibilities, my friends. Unlock your possibilities. So beautiful thing. I like this so much. I want to explain this to you. You can ask a great question and then you can focus on just a minute. Getting ability to get a great answer. So x-axis, y-axis. Now you start with this, my dear friends. When you start your one thing goals, it may be business, it may be education, it may be health goals, it may be anything. Start with something which is doable. If a student says, okay, I can get 5 marks more, that's a doable thing. Then you can say, I can get 10 marks more, that's a stretchable thing. Then you can say, I want 25 marks, that's a possible thing. Suddenly you realize, why can't I come first in the class, sir? Probably you never came first in your class in your entire school education or college education. Now go for something which is, this line I'm drawing, which I call it impossible. So all the big players on the planet, whether in business or sports or anything, they always operate in this zone. What is Rajmouli doing? I remember after Magadira in IIT Madras, there was an interview for Rajmouli, and students asked him, sir, what will you choose? What will you choose? Do you want to choose award-winning movie or 100 crore movie? Award-winning movie, 100 crore movie, they give him a choice. You know what he said? First of all, 100 crores doesn't inspire me. What inspires me is you add another zero. If you add another zero, you'll get how many 1,000 crores? And he made it. Bahubali is the first movie in India which touched 1,000 crores. So what is he doing? He's doing big and specific. What is he doing? He went from small profit, doable. He started with that student number 1 small movie, then Stretchable to, I think, Simhadri or something. Then he made it Magadira movie or something. Then he went into Iga movie. Then he went into Bahubali movie. Now he's doing RRR. Now we have another program designed for you. Probably next week or next week I'll be doing. Our program name is also called RRR. But a slightly different name we are giving. It's called the R Triangle. We'll be making the announcement, R Triangle. You should attend that wonderful program. It's a 3-session program. Total 6 hours. It will be 2 days, 2 hours per day. So we will tell you how to rebound yourself, how to reinvent yourself, how to relaunch yourself after the COVID, so that you'll be in demand. You'll love the program. So let's look at what? Start with doable, small, simple goals. Then go to stretchable, next level. Then you go to possible and start the next one called impossible. Now, life will be wonderful. In Hindi, they say, maza. Life will be a maza for you. Every day will be very magical for you. You don't have to worry about competition, stress and all that. Just go to impossible. Nobody will, very few people are in this zone. Go there and see the magic of your life, my dear friends. Once you decide what is your one thing, now this is what all great people do, all successful people do. What they do is, this is their, you can say vision. This is a someday goal. This is their someday goal. One day I want to train in the parliament. Then 5-year goal. Now I want so many YouTube. Now this month we're opening our YouTube channel. We're opening our webinar courses and all that. 5-year goal. Then 1-year goal. We must be in this social media. Then monthly goal. This month we're opening our YouTube channel. All that. Then weekly goal. Now what are the possible training programs we can allocate? Daily goal. Now today I must actually put all my books ready and clean up and put things in place. That's my daily goal. What is my right now goal? What is my right now goal? My right now goal is next training program, get it ready. That's my right now goal. So like that, you can see like a snake, you can see this beautiful image. Like a snake, can you see this beautiful image? Like a snake, can you see? Like that. And this, my dear friends, is your first domino. This is your first domino here. it topple the next one, 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 next one. I will tell you how I designed this program. You'll understand very well. This is the one thing program. This is my second program I'm doing. This is not my idea. Remember, it is from a book I borrowed, but I've made it easy for you to get it. So you know what I did? The first one thing is I gave my name for the program in some other alumni session, in our alumni session for trainers. Next one thing I did, next domino I did is I purchased book long back. I left it somewhere. I searched for the book. I got the book. Next one thing I did is I opened my notebook and wrote the heading title. I wrote the topics. Then I wrote the subtopics. Then I wrote the slides. Then I did research on what examples I should do, what slides I should put, and so on. Then I did a mock session. Then I did the final session. So that became my final domino. Start a small domino, next domino, next domino, next domino. Suddenly, magically, you'll find you are hitting many dominoes. That is what is possible, my dear friends. And once you do that, this is the final thing for you, my dear friends. How do great people achieve their goals? How do great people achieve their goals is basically by doing what is known as time blocking. And you should understand this one. I hope you are wearing a green cap even now at this moment of the program. This is a regular difficulty of normally unsuccessful people. These are unsuccessful people. Unsuccessful people. So I'll put a reverse smile symbol. You know what they do? First of all, they don't know what is their one thing. Even if they do one thing, they will allocate only 20% on their one thing. 80% is unnecessary things they will allocate time. So 20% on one thing, 80% on unnecessary things. But you know, all successful people, what did they reverse the equation? They will have productive days. They allocate minimum 50% of their time for their one thing, minimum 50% of their time for their real one thing. And once that is done, they know the main thing has been done. Then all chota mota things they will allocate for something else. That's what Bill Gates has done. That's what Google owners have done. That's what Ramoji Rao has done. That's what our Rajmouli is doing. They focus energy, time, money on their one thing predominantly. All the others, you know, whether you know or don't know, even people who are in technology, you know, they don't allow their children to actually get addicted to technology because they have understood that until you actually focus on your one thing, nothing will work in your life. Nothing will work in your life. They've understood that. So from today, a simple equation, my dear friends. So this is a practical session, by the way. Okay, you can implement immediately. From now, you can implement, all of us. And by doing time blocking, my dear friends, once you identify your one thing, now how do you do that? Take your time, ask what is the one thing for my health, what is the one thing for my wealth, what is the one thing for my personal, what is the one thing for my spiritual, what is the one thing for my people, for relationships, and so on, and your other things, whatever you want to do, business or job, etc. And then you shift from this type of day to this type of day. You must shift, all of us, including me, of course. Right? And then if a day is, let's say, 10 hours of work you're doing, 50% of that, for example, morning 9 to 2 o'clock, morning 9 to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, do nothing except your main one thing. So for your one thing is, in 1 year, I must launch a good, successful business. So just focus on who are your vendors, what is your product, what are the customers, what is your revenue channel. Do research, just do that. Switch off your phones, everything, just focus on this. The rest of the day, your pre-lunch session, my recommendation, pre-lunch session should be for your one thing. Your post-lunch session should be for your other things. Then you see the magic. Do it for 1 week, do it for 1 month, do it for 6 months. I'm using this word for you, and it is possible. It is not impossible. I'm using this word. You will be unstoppable. In 1 year, nobody can stop you. Nothing great about it. You're not a genius. We are all not geniuses. All you did is simply identified your one thing and shifted your focus from year to year. And you 50% of your day, active day time, you actually invested on your one thing. and see the majestic results in your life. Absolutely majestic results you can get in your life, my dear friends. You will be, this word unstoppable is guaranteed. Anybody for that matter, anybody for that matter. That's why you'll find many success stories. Some people who are doing nothing, they become so great just because they focused on their one thing. So what is my one thing? This is my one thing. I created my mission for my life about 3 years ago, and this is my one thing. My mission is to inspire, enlighten, and transform millions and millions and millions of people to live a life of enrichment, a life of fulfillment, a life of enrichment, not only in their personal life, but also in the professional life. This is my mission I created. Now, this I created after a lot of thought process. It didn't come overnight. Okay, I took a lot of time to create all these things, right? I took a lot of time to create all these things. So my question is, I'm asking you people, creating this particular program, what is the one thing for you in every area of your life? What is the one thing for you in all the areas of your life which matter most to you? Ask yourself, what is your one thing? Take time. In every area of your life, what is your one thing? Take time and think about it. Think about it. It will not come immediate. Think about it. And then, not only your surroundings also should be empowering for you. So train your people in your home, in your offices, and ask them, what is your one thing? What is your one thing? What is your one thing? And ask them to think about it. What is your one thing to your son, to your daughter, to your spouse? Ask them, what is your one thing? For your parents, it may be one thing is, I want health now. For your child, one thing maybe I want to get good marks in mathematics now. For you, maybe the one thing is, I want to have an income generating business now. Could be. Think about it. So once you decide your one thing and you have one thing for all your people, your environment is going to support you fully and completely. Yes or no? Yes or no, my dear friends? I have just 2 more slides. So just remember, my dear friends, your mission is to live your one thing. In every moment of your life, mission is to live your one thing. And you know, cigarette packets, they have a warning, statutory warning, they will write, cigarette smoking is injurious to health. Nowadays, they are saying it causes death or cancer. So I created one warning for all of us. And I want you to read this particular warning. And what is this warning we have created is neglecting your one thing. Neglecting your one thing is highly detrimental to your true progress in your life. I want you to by heart this statement. Don't neglect your one thing. If you're doing injustice to your life, basically you're not doing your one thing. That's your injustice to your entire life. So neglecting your one thing amount to detrimental. That means it will stop your true progress in your life, my dear friends. Now, you agree or disagree, doesn't matter, but this is the truth. Right? So what's my personal recommendation regarding the one thing? You know, in traffic police, they will write on the wall, start early, drive safely, start early, drive slowly, reach safely. So I modified it for the one thing program. So I'm saying, this is my recommendation. Start early regarding your one thing. Start now, start today. Start thinking about your one things in all the major areas which matter to you most. And then focus daily on the one thing. And then you will succeed quickly. Guaranteed you're going to succeed quickly, my dear friends. Right? So start early, focus daily, and you'll succeed what? Quickly. Succeed what? Quickly. And my second last slide coming up for you. So my dear participants, may you live your one thing always. May you live your one thing always. This is my second last slide. Just a minute. If you do that, this program, we put those people on the slides. Regarding Google, we said search. Amitabh Bachchan, we said acting. Ramdev Baba, we said yoga, no Patanjali. Ratan Tata, we said business. Apple, we said user experience. Sachin Tendulkar, we said cricket. Kiran Mazumdar Shah, we said giving quality medicines at low cost to people to solve their problems. If you follow all the principles we have learned today, you know what will happen? After 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, maybe 10 years, one day you will be among all these persons' organizations because your photo may come there. Your photo may come there, my dear friends. In a future session, I may put your photo and say, you know what? On 6th of July 2020, these people attended my particular program and they created their one thing. And you know what? After 5 years, 10 years, you may come and tell me, sir, your session, I created this one thing and I want you to put my photograph in your next program. Yes. We're keeping a slot for you vacant. Yes. This is a slot vacant for you, my dear friends. And that is definitely possible if you focus on what, sir? If you focus on your what, sir? Focus on your one thing. It's definitely possible. Do you think so? Do you think so? Yes or no?
Naveen, people are asking about your session details and everything, Naveen.
Yeah, this is my last slide. So my dear impact participants, I really want to thank Gampa for his great selfless services doing for the community. And when he asked me, I said, yeah, wow, I should do it because at least a small thing I should do when he's doing so many big things. I want to really thank Gampa and all the impact team, including Ranadir, and so many more people would have been there. And thank you all the participants for coming today, trusting us, wholeheartedly yours.
Naveen,
Yeah.
Program details, how they can reach you. They're asking, many comments are there. How can they for next future sessions?
Yeah, you can actually take my number.
You can just, if you want, you can just.
I'll write my number here.
Or post any slide.
This is my personal number.
Mobile number.
I don't have a slide now. Actually, our website is getting ready because till now that is my one thing now, to get our website and things ready. I have to take Gampa's help regarding these things, social media presence and all that. So this is my personal number for our programs.
Because we are going to close the session, please note down and send a message to Naveen Garu for future sessions. He will inform you all the sessions.
Yeah, 9002 55588.
Once again, it's gone.
Sorry, 9002 55588.
Janaki Ramaraj Garu, please get ready.
Yeah. So that is the end of the session. And if you have anything, 9002. Narasimha Garu, one more zero you have to add. 9002.
Yeah. How they can reach you on as a text message or WhatsApp, something? Anything?
Yeah, WhatsApp will be preferred. Yeah.
Okay. So
WhatsApp
friends,
preferred, my dear participants.
So friends, if you are interested to attend some more sessions of Naveen Garu, and you can reach him by this mobile number on WhatsApp number. You introduce yourself properly and you mention that you are from Impact, so that he will give you all the privileges, whatever is offering to our organization. And my strong recommendation, attend all the classes. This is a free of cost what you have given to all of us, and remaining whatever you just call him and join the sessions. So this is what I want to say. Thank you very much, Naveen. So great session. I'm just listening all 90 minutes. I'm with you. That's it. And didn't mood also. It was awesome. And thank you very much, Naveen. So on behalf of Impact Foundation, I would like to request Janaki Ramaraju, Mahapati Murari to propose out of thanks. Can you?
If we have time, I'm available. If you don't have time, fine, for questions and all. Or
one more meeting is there, Naveen.
I don't know. Yeah. So that's okay, fine. Okay. I can understand.
So they will reach you on this, and if possible, after 10 days or 15 days, we need one more session from you, because huge requests from people. any topic of your choice, they are interested to listen to you. Naveen, after at least 15 days or 20 days, whenever you are free, evening, our fixed time is every day 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. every day, and same ID, same Zoom ID. All are welcome and same Zoom ID. We don't change. Okay,
Right.
we will change in life, but we don't change Zoom ID. Just click on the ID. And Facebook, now 40,000 people are watching you, Naveen. 40,000 people are watching you.
Wow.
All this session on Facebook and YouTube also. YouTube, it is live. So thank you, Naveen. So Janaki Ramaraj, over to you, boss.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Very wonderful session we have. Everyone very happy with that session. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful time, sir.
Yeah, I want to thank Impact and all the participants. Thank you. And don't forget to live your one thing. That's the justice you can do to your life.
Umapati garu.
So it was an excellent session, sir. I was sitting and watching every slide, and I think all participants were stuck to with seeing these slides and listening to you. This was an amazing session, sir. So I have decided one thing in my life. So I will start working from tomorrow onwards.
Very good. Ranidhirachari
Right.
garu,
Awesome
the
session.
program coordinator Ranidhirachari garu, please speak and inform about tomorrow.
Not from tomorrow, from now. Don't wait till tomorrow for your one thing.
Definitely,
from
sir.
now.
Definitely.
Yeah. Ranidhirachari garu, speak on. Ranidhirachari garu, unnara line lo. Speak
Sir,
on.
yes, sir.
Very good. Speak on. Thank you,
Ranveer,
sir.
yeah.
Sir, it was a great session, sir. As you said, it's not a motivational speech or something. It's a life transformation session, sir.
Right.
Thank you for your valuable time, sir. And
Thank you.
it was very wonderful, sir.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, all of you.
So thank you, Naveen. Thank you very much, and everybody. So
Thank you.
tomorrow evening we'll meet exactly at 6:30. Tomorrow you're going to meet an extraordinary personality from Uday Kumar from Visakhapatnam. Day after tomorrow you are going to meet JVC Sriram, the corporate trainer, powerful trainer, and the next day you are going to meet one more personality, Akhil Raghavendra Garu, and then Saturday is an enjoy day, cultural program. Songs will be there from Mysore sisters, or no, Bangalore sister, some Karnataka sister. These two sisters will come. They'll sing so many songs for all of you, my dear friends. So Sunday,
that is their one thing.
one thing. And Sunday evening, your speaker, Mr. Rashekar Mani, we will talk about money and everything. This, I think, this session, whatever Naveen told, you can implement in that session also. So be with me, my dear friends, and we will support you to support the nation. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Bharat Mata ki Jai.
Thank you.
Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Jai Hind, Jai
I'm
Bharat.
stopping.